Well, as Konstantin said, ICT is a difficult topic because it's something which is, as well as cloud, something which is difficult to touch upon. At the same time, it is something that is everywhere around us. From the time we wake up in the morning until we go to bed, we are surrounded by things that are dependent on ICT and increasingly on internet and the developing cloud services. So I think that is one of the difficulties, that when you talk about financing, talk about money, it's sometimes easier to put money on something which is visible, to build a bridge or build a nice highway instead of a superhighway, a digital superhighway that no one can touch upon, but is so crucial for society. Let me make 3 points here today. First of all, tech industry can add value to planning and delivery of digital agenda for your city or region. Secondly, Digital Europe and its members are already very active in anything digital, including cloud. And thirdly, European policy environment can be used both to encourage and to discourage tech companies, both large and small, to be active and create jobs and growth. But first, just to introduce Digital Europe, we are the association that represents the digital industry. Our members include 40 national tech industry associations from every member state, and in turn they represent more than 10,000 companies in Europe. Both small, medium size and large. So that puts us in quite a unique position when we talk about the ICT environment. But not only that, we also have as direct members 60 of the large or largest or large global companies. I would say basically any ICT brand name you know is also a member of our association. And we also have a very active network of more than actually 750 people from all across Europe that actively contributes to the policy work that we are doing. And we have a very clear expressed vision, and I think it's worth understanding where we come from. So we want a European Union that nurtures and supports digital technology industries and that prospers from jobs we provide, innovation and economic benefit we deliver, and the societal challenges that we address. So I think that puts kind of a framework on what we want to do and puts us in a position to actually talk about these very difficult and important topics. So first of all, add value. Let me give some example on how we can add value. Estonia is a small country, but it's one of the leading countries when it comes to ICT and in particular e-government. So our association in Estonia works very closely with the Estonian government and meet regularly with government representatives all the way up to actually President Ilves, who is a very active and enthusiastic supporter of anything ICT and cloud related. We can draw a lot of their doing in Estonia and bring it to other parts of Europe, something that we actively do. We have in the UK, our UK association Intellect. They offer a service to public authorities called Concept Viability. So it's a place where public bodies can actually go and bring their ideas around tech innovation or things they would like to do in the tech area, and they can get the consolidated industry feedback. And already our association in the UK have run over 100 projects that have been through this phase. So it really gets very good first, hands-on experience for public bodies that would like to try out new ideas and do something with that. And we've talked about money here before and about ways to finance. And actually our French association, Force Numérique, has joined up with the Venture Capital Fund and just recently put 120 million euros out there for small and really entrepreneurial type of business in the first startup phases. So very important things that can be done. Now, I also said that we are very active in the ICT and also the cloud area, and We have heard here today about digital jobs and the Grand Coalition for Digital Jobs. So Digital Europe has provided the Commission with important feedback and information about what's going on the ground in all the different member states. And that is incredibly important, not just for us in the ICT industry, because we do have a need for more skilled employees. There's a deficit, as you may know, of skilled ICT workforce in Europe, and it's growing. It's not going in the right direction. So we need to take the actions. It's critical. But it's not only critical for our own sector. It's not really there where the problem will come in the coming years. It's actually from all those other sectors that want to use the benefits of ICT, where there are no competent people to actually put up the right demands and do the right kind of purchasing decisions. So that's very critical that we get the right kind of people in there. And we all need to do what we can on that one. We talked about cloud. I'd like to mention one thing that we're doing. We are, in Digital Europe, we are very active in cloud, and we've started what we call a cloud council. And that is to coordinate all cloud-related activities. And we have in Brussels been running a program for, well, almost a year now, called the Cloud in Practice program. So someone was asking, what can you do? How can you educate people about cloud? And what we said is, let's bring our members with the knowledge of cloud, and let's bring policymakers into the room. And we started doing this in Brussels. And the Cloud in Practice program brings the experts together with anyone interested to discuss the different cloud topics, all the way from data privacy, data protection, security, the international dimension, SMEs and cloud, and so on. These things are things that we bring to our local trade associations now, and I would really encourage regions and cities out there to try and follow that example, to organize these cloud in practice gatherings with industry. I think that's a way to bring decision makers into up to speed with what's happening in cloud. So the final point then is that you know, policymakers have the power to encourage or to discourage tech companies, and we talked about how important it is to find the right kind of places for tech companies to grow, how we need to invest in the right things. And I think we need to do it on different levels here. It's important that regions and cities make their voice heard in Brussels and both to the Commission and to Parliament about the importance of cities and regions. Because we all know that we have a lot of competition. There are many cities out there like Singapore or Guadalajara or Portland, Oregon that now are heating up their activities, and we cannot afford to be left behind in Europe. So we need to think cleverly here. We need to create clusters. We need to create the right kind of environment in certain areas, and those need probably to be rather few and concentrated, particularly when we talk about research, innovation in the ICT area. Whereas when it comes to usage and uptake of ICT, it's a much broader scope. This is something that we need to get the broad involvement. So here we can afford to really try and spread it all across, because everyone needs to be on top of the issues. And we need to bring up things. I know we said this morning here that cybersecurity is a very hot topic right now, and so is data protection. I think that is no reason to shy away from it. Now is the time to discuss it, to find the right balance. We need to have the trust. We need to have trust from citizens in digital services, and we need to protect the digital infrastructure. We need to have a data protection that people feel comfortable with, but at the same time, we need to find the right balance so that we don't overburden players who want to provide services on the net, in particular the small companies who can find it very, very difficult then to offer the services. And the only way to do that, and as was mentioned this morning by Professor van Dijk, is actually to have a local dialogue. I think it is important to remember that many of these things will be decided on the local level, even though we need probably European and pan-European frameworks. We need to break it down to very close to the citizens and the challenges they have. And that's where we need to be active. So, you know, there was this old saying that you need to think global but act local, but I think that it's not really enough. You need to think both global and local, and then you need to act to some extent pan-European, but much, much more on the local dimension. Finally then, it's important that in order to create jobs and create economic value, that there is a policy environment that encourages both large and small companies. This is how the tech company ecosystem works today. So because of that, it's important to not have policies that discriminate against large players in a way that discourage them to invest. And sometimes they may be kind of the anchor tenants in the environment that are important for creating the ecosystem and the growth of the SMEs and the small companies. This balance is incredibly important, and we need to be very good at creating this environment and also see to that small companies stay in Europe, find it worthwhile to grow and to be prosperous here. So basically then, in summary, I think that our national trade associations, our local members, can be a very valuable partner to regions and cities. I think that there is a necessity to build on the fact that we all need to be active in Brussels, and also regions and cities need to be active and explain the local dimension, and to make the voice heard among European policymakers. Because if we work together, I think we can create the right environment to attract the investments needed right now for digital jobs that we all want. So thank you very much.
Thank you.